Some guitarists are remembered for incredible speed. Others are celebrated for unforgettable songs. But only a handful redefine what an electric guitar can become. Dimebag Darrelle was one of those rare musicians. Decades after his rise to fame, his influence continues to shape rock and metal in ways that even longtime fans are still discovering. Yet there is another side to his story that often goes unnoticed. Was his greatest achievement really the legendary riffs that inspired millions? Or was it something much deeper, something that quietly changed the way musicians think about creativity, authenticity, and passion? The answer isn't found in a single album or iconic performance. Instead, it's woven throughout a remarkable journey filled with innovation, generosity, and an unwavering love for music. To truly understand Dimebag Darrelle, we have to look beyond the famous guitar solos and discover why his legacy remains far more layered than most people imagine. Born Darrell Lance Abbott in Arlington, Texas, Dimebag grew up in a household where music was more than entertainment. It was a way of life. Encouraged by his father, a respected music producer, he was surrounded by instruments, recording equipment, and working musicians from an early age. Those experiences gave him opportunities many young guitarists never had, but natural opportunity alone doesn't explain his success. What truly separated him was an extraordinary work ethic. While others practiced until they could play a song correctly, Dimebag practiced until every note sounded unmistakably his own. That determination soon became the foundation of Pantera. Alongside his brother, drummer Vinnie Paul, Dimebag helped transform the band from its early beginnings into one of the defining names in modern heavy metal. As the group's musical identity evolved, so did his guitar playing. When Pantera eventually came to an end, many wondered what Dimebag would do next. Instead of looking backward, he embraced another creative chapter through Damageplan. Although the project explored fresh musical ideas, one thing never changed: his enthusiasm for making music. Friends and collaborators consistently describe him as someone who approached every rehearsal, recording session, and conversation with infectious energy. To him, success was never measured only by album sales or awards. It was measured by the excitement of creating something meaningful. Few people noticed what this led to. Over time, Dimebag's influence expanded far beyond heavy metal. Guitarists from hard rock, alternative music, progressive metal, and even modern blues began borrowing elements of his phrasing, tone, and rhythmic approach. Many of today's leading players cite him as one of the musicians who encouraged them to stop copying others and begin searching for their own voice. In that sense, his greatest contribution wasn't simply teaching people how to play guitar, it was inspiring them to think differently about music itself. Perhaps that's why his legacy feels more complicated than many realize. Some remember him as an extraordinary guitarist. Others remember him as the creative force behind unforgettable records. But those who knew his work most closely often point to something even more lasting: his ability to inspire people through authenticity. His career reminds us that technical mastery means little without personality, imagination, and genuine passion. Those qualities cannot be purchased, borrowed, or imitated. They must be developed over years of dedication. In the end, Dimebag Darrelle's story isn't defined by a single performance, a famous riff, or one unforgettable era of rock music. It's defined by the countless musicians who continue discovering new inspiration through his recordings, his creativity, and his fearless commitment to originality. Long after the amplifiers grow silent and the concerts become history, his influence continues to echo through every guitarist willing to experiment, take creative risks, and remain true to their own musical voice. That is why his legacy is more layered than it first appears. It isn't simply about extraordinary talent. It's about proving that the most enduring artists leave behind more than great music. They leave behind a way of thinking that continues inspiring generations long after the final note has faded.